Please stand for prayer and pledge of allegiance. Please bow your head if you so choose. Gracious Heavenly Father, we just come to you now and ask for guidance, direction, and just be with us during this meeting, be with this community, be with those people that serve this community in different capacities, and be with the residents, and be with those who are sick right now, and just bless them and guide them, be with their families. We ask you to watch over this council, this community, and just direct us during our council meeting this evening. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Cheryl.
Bailey?
Here.
Bassett?
Here.
Beverly?
Here.
Miller?
Here.
Egley? Here. Martin?
Here.
And Township Trustees Metz?
Yes,
McCullough?
Here.
Seebeck?
it's
Nope,
Mike
Shane.
Green now.
Oh, Green?
Mike Green. Again, I want to thank the township representatives to be here tonight. It's our annual meeting and everything. We have anything to address with them at the present time. So bring that to the table and bring it to council and the township.
You guys got any construction line going on? We might be getting more traffic out our way. Look forward.
Just a couple side streets getting paved.
It's like sewer work and stuff.
Yeah, 19. How long is 18 supposed to be closed?
Elm Street.
4 days.
Or just this week.
You already got a place for that? You already got a place
4
for that?
days.
The dirt.
5th through the 9th, right? Okay. I did have somebody reach out today, actually, on Hicksville Miller going into town there by Hidden Brook. They said there used to be a 35-mile-an-hour sign, maybe at the top crest of the hill. That's kind of a hidden drive, right, going into the tees off into Hidden Brook Estates. They were seeing if they could place another sign, maybe to slow down traffic before it got to the hill. They've lived there about 1.5 years, and they said it seems like there's so many, you turn right or left and there's that car on you or coming down the hill. He said there used to be a sign there, maybe talking about a hidden drive or additional approach. It's 55, yeah, once they get up to the hill, it's not much time before
Right.
you get to the entrance to the Hidden Brook.
But,
So,
somewhere in there, it turns into village. I don't know if it's right at.
I think it's right about Hidden Brook, but that's not the problem. That's 35 from Hidden Brook to Spencerville, right?
Yeah.
It's coming from 37 to Spencerville,
Yeah.
55.
It's 55.
Right.
There's, you're not even gonna put a sign there, the
Yeah.
sign 35.
We went through the state, we
Oh, you
asked the
did
state
on
about
that?
it before, and they said it's up until it's village limits, there's no regulation.
Can't say 35 ahead or Hidden
Well,
Drive.
you might be able to do that.
If
That's
you
what-
did, it'd be, again, on the village to do it, because it's just like, a stop sign isn't the road that it's on, it's the road that it's stopping for. So the 35-mile-an-hour zone would be for you guys to slow down.
But we'd need your permission to put it up, wouldn't we?
Yeah. you're gonna
Yeah.
go up.
They said there used to be one there and it's not there anymore.
I don't ever remember.
I think there was one year ago, but there again,
Right.
it wasn't, I think it come down
That-
to,
oh, it'd be the
it wasn't
county sheriff
enforceable.
Still have to enforce it.
He just said that here recently, they've been, like I said, they moved out there about 1 year ago. They used to live in town, then moved out there, but he noticed that when they're, especially when they're turning right or turning left, it seems like cars clipping along at 55, it's not much time to get to that approach, that driveway, so.
Guys are welcome, guys are welcome pulling out there.
Because Kent brought to my attention, it comes from 37 that way. It's the state, or the sheriff's office would have to police it,
Correct.
Yeah,
so,
so put up all the signs you want, it's not gonna get enforced.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, we put up all sorts of swinging signs and spinning signs on K-Spear north of Spencerville, and there's still trucks back into Terry Brown's driveway.
All right. Yeah.
Because they told us that they can't enforce, even the county can't enforce those signs. That's why they were not enforcing those signs, when we had all the problems with the truck. And that came from the law department, which was
Troy, Essex.
While we're on the 35, oh, excuse me, topic, South Main's marked 35 yet, New Sargon's 35 yet, I thought we did away with those with the Spencerville thing. So those are gonna need done too, correct?
This does turn into 25.
Pardon?
This one does turn into 25.
Yeah, but it's 35,
Yeah.
and New Sargon's 35.
Okay.
Blow 'em up a little more.
Buy some more signs.
He's, anything, if we can get some people to slow down and be more cautious of the approach here, that was his main concern.
Put 100 signs up there, they're not gonna slow down.
Spike strips.
I was just thinking. We're not.
Rumble.
Speed bumps.
Pothole.
That's what you got.
Need to be enforced.
Yeah.
Other than that, Lang construction, we have coming up, Jericho's, I don't know if you've been out through there between 49 east. There's stakes out through there, we're gonna redo the ditches. Ultimately, that road's gonna get widened substantially. Kinda wait for some grants and stuff, because it's gonna get remediated like what Buckskin did, but hopefully not end up like Buckskin. I guess, we're hoping it works out better, but, and then, Hicksville between 18 and Buckskin is the only thing close here that's gonna get paved. Other than that,
Are they gonna, excuse me, are they gonna widen the berm on the other side? I know they did the north side, I guess you'd wanna call it, on Case Pier with concrete. Are they gonna do the other side this year?
north side of Hicksville.
It'd be the,
We've already done all
West
the
side.
widening we're doing.
Okay,
the west side was wide.
so what you call west?
When's that gonna be repaved? The Case Pier?
Whenever Gherkin gets it, they were supposedly, they was up in Milford, well, last week, but I think that was just a patch and crew. Is that who you guys got doing your roads over here?
Ohio Asphalt.
Okay, so we're probably, since we only have a 1 mile stretch of paving, we'll probably
Way low.
bump.
Right, yes. Get the big jobs knocked out first.
Yeah.
Something else that was done, a request for an increase in the annual support from the village. That was brought to our attention, a letter was sent back in January. We thought we'd address it now. The budgets were pre-done then, and we did,
For the cemetery.
yeah, for the
The cemetery,
cemetery
yeah,
side.
we-
That's kind of a joint effort with the township that,
We increased ours.
yeah. I remember people seeing that letter back in January from the department and everything. And we've been at 27.5 for, I couldn't tell you how many years.
13?
Uh,
13 years we've been 27.5.
yeah, They're asking for a 20% increase, takes it to 33, so is that, I know with budgetary purposes and everything, is that something we can address now, or do we have to wait? That's a county question, so.
Well, we discussed it several council meetings ago, and we all seem to be in favor. We had talked that night, that even if we could make it, give it the bonus, but it wouldn't go into effect until next budget, right? And I would think we could do that tonight.
I mean, if we're gonna wait until next year, we might as well wait until finance meeting meets out, or committee meets out, I think. I mean, I was for it too, but I
It would-
mean.
it would give the
When we find out in
cemetery-
January, we make our budgets in November. I mean,
It would
it's
give
3
the
months late.
cemetery board a kind of a security blanket as they do some things, major things that they want to do out there.
We knew that increase was coming for next year, right?
And it's just verbiage, I mean, it's, we're not gonna put it into stone. I make a motion that we approve giving the cemetery board the advance, the money.
I'll second.
Roll call.
In 2026.
Yeah.
Yes, next budget run. Is that what we were talking?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great.
Roll call.
Beverly,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Egley?
Yes.
All right, anything else for the township to address right now, or? I think the cemetery looks really good. I know Ron's doing a good job with that, and then, he got an assistant too this year, didn't he, I believe?
Yeah,
I
partial,
know
yeah.
the Bassett boy did a tremendous job. Is he back on it again this year, or is he at college? I can't remember. He did a great job.
I'm not sure about that.
And he's in college and
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were seeing if he'd come back, right? 'Cause
I think
he
he's
stayed
a
on top.
factory job, I think, so he plans on doing.
So, but yeah, it looks really nice. Do you know if there were, I know I've had a couple people that'll ask about the potholes, were they gonna do any grading out there with the roads? And I know winter time is a whole different
yeah,
scenario.
we will later on.
Trying to clean that up.
Yeah, we gotta wait until the weather gets a little better.
Right.
One thing on the cemetery, you guys looked at becoming a 501c3 organization, like the other one.
I don't think
We've had some people come to Eagles ask for donations, and
Right.
we checked to see if we could run it through the village, and they said not the best way to go do it, so we were looking to see if you guys were looking into
I don't
that.
think it can be,
I-
since it's government subsidized.
Yeah, we can.
You can't? Okay.
No,
Be a good idea, but.
Yeah, it'd be
I don't-
great.
Yeah.
I don't think you can take.
A couple people asked how we were able to donate to the other cemetery, you know,
Oh, Six Corners?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's private.
yeah.
right.
Anything else for the township? Well, thanks for coming tonight. If you have anything that pops up though throughout the year, if something changes or need to address anything, you're more than happy to get a phone call or listen to you or anything like that, vice versa.
Very good.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you, John.
Don't spend it all. Yeah.
Need to go out of that. Do I need a motion to go out of that meeting? Too late?
They already left.
There you go. We've got approval of council meeting minutes from April 15th.
I'll make a motion to approve as written. Second.
Roll call.
Egley?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Bassett?
Well, it says April 15th, but when did we actually meet?
I think it was the 21st, isn't it?
Wasn't
Oh.
I tore those calendars.
Because this one says the
Sorry.
7th,
Oh,
now this one says the 15th, and I think it was the 19th was,
I don't know.
April 19th was when we
I'll
had
check
the
it
meeting.
before we do the final.
Yes, on the
Or
19th.
just call it once upon a
Did
time.
I miss Bailey?
21st.
Okay.
21st. That was it. 21st.
You would read
Got it.
Do we have roll call? All right.
Yep.
Approval of bills?
There are
Or
none.
not this week?
Everything was free.
We have boards and commissions, Hicksville Planning Commission met, it's in your packets.
Does anybody know where that's at? I can't place it on.
Right.
Or-
Gotcha.
We had, council committee reports, Relight Property met, that's in your packet.
You know anything else say on your survey for Oak Park? Corey's got surveyed in the office.
That was just something I brought up to, because the property line looks jacked on the auditor site. The one neighbor's shed is running right through the line.
Yeah, there's
It's part of a
at
house.
least one or
Part of
two,
the house.
Part of the house
east spouts
is-
on that one house is, whatever you call that, hanging over the whole.
Well, it's more than just the east spout.
Yeah.
Well, it's the corner of the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should be a good survey.
So I guess we'll worry about that when we need to worry about it.
Any questions for them?
Well, I'd like to touch on these bullet points here. I guess the first is that street vacations that I gave you all copies of. Would like to get the ball rolling on that.
Do we need a motion, Cheryl? No?
That legislation for vacation. Legislation for
Yeah.
back.
Rachel, talk to me if there's any other information you might need.
Okay.
The Oak Park Drive property, I'd like to move, we would like to move forward with getting that sold, so. As well as Antwerp Drive.
Do we know what the original, what's the story with the Amherst Drive property? That's what I just wanted some more information on that. Like, why did we have it? Why did we
Originally,
keep
well,
it?
we were I was on that committee when we talked about, we were dealing with flooding and separation. And they said, you gotta keep them separate, there's two different issues. The way that ground lies, and I was just out there a couple weeks ago, there is some water that runs back off those fields and everything, but I know they added some more catch basins when they put in the storm. So it ever got up to the road area, it was gonna handle some of the overflow if we got the heavy rains.
That was also slated for a retention pond.
It was, but that was through us, they were gonna put a swell on that whole back row of homes along 49 and catch all that water running across that field and dumping it into a retention pond and then holding it there and then slow releasing it into the storm drainage. That project never happened that way. We just did an oversized storm pipe.
We're not done with our project, are we?
There we are. The oversized pipe.
We've been approved and everything's over with.
That was one of the first.
Mhm.
Ms. Watt?
It's nice
You were
lot.
part-
I said it was
Put
over
for sale.
back when I was
Yeah.
around.
You can't put it.
3.6 or something like that acres.
But that's part of the, quote, possible site of solar panels. But they said they're not gonna put them that close into town. It's still rentable property through the solar panel.
So it's all
They're
annexed
further
in?
out, right.
It's the three, all of it.
Yeah, it's all
annexed in.
It's still inside city limits.
Right.
I don't know why we're in such a push to get it sold, but I.
We've been talking about it for a year.
Yeah, I
plus,
know, I know.
So, I mean, it's a matter of
Mowing, maintaining,
make a decision.
So
and-
can we sell it or do we have to put it up for auction?
auction.
Mm-hmm. Hope it goes better than that last piece we sold.
I don't remember selling the last one.
Yeah, we sold it.
Make 10 grand on it. No. That's a debate there too.
Yeah.
I know some people interested in building on it. I mean, they've reached out and said if it ever came up for auction or anything, they would be interested in
Be a
putting
nice
some
little spot
house.
for 4 or
Do
5
we-
houses.
Corey, do we set a reserve on that, like a minimum bid amount?
I'm sure we could.
Okay.
I don't know if we ever have. At least since I've been here, we haven't ever put a reserve on anything.
Okay.
We talked about a reserve.
We kinda did on Heaver Drive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. And that, little corner lot too.
The one
Corner
where,
on Main.
yep.
There was a reserve on that.
And if we didn't buy it, it was just given to us. That corner lot.
But we auctioned it,
Right.
yeah.
Did you hold the auction at the same time, but with both different parcels, right? And people submitted bids for.
We bought that one out there with Slattery Farms, didn't we?
Titman's.
Chipman's? Okay.
And we were asking permission to run the swell on that backside
Right.
along there.
Is that the lot that, I know Dennis, one of those lots out there, part of the deal was we put a water tap to go on back in
It's got a water and sewer stub both.
on that, on
In the
villages.
driveway.
Yeah.
What you wanna call the driveway.
That means we
Might as well take a
Yeah,
dog park. I mean,
it was, yeah.
So that will make it worth lots more money.
Well, it gets the stub,
Right.
doesn't go all the way back.
Right,
No, that's
they don't have to
good.
come up here and
Yeah,
try to get it
It's
done.
hefty or anything.
That means someone's paying the water bill on it?
No. No.
There's no meter.
It's our property anyway. And there's no structure.
Pretty much got the main line going through there, and they got a tap on it, so somebody can tie into it, open the valve, and it's all connected. So,
So who are you gonna get to sell it?
Well, do we have to auction it? I mean, does it
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
like is there an online place we go through, or?
We go through whoever we want. Yeah, property on gov deals all the time.
I think if you stayed around here closer, you're liable to get a builder out there a lot quicker.
It's whatever you guys decide ultimately. Do you have anyone you recommend for auctioning? I know they have that one in Bryan, that Wilson, they've done some auction, like
They're
online
not in
auctions.
business anymore.
Oh, aren't they?
No.
Okay, that's been a few years
Think
ago.
the Bradley Company be interested in auctioning?
Darren Bach is an Edgerton.
Darren has put a lot of options on United.
Yeah, Darren's got a pretty professional operation.
Was there a motion to go ahead and move forward with the auction of both those properties, or?
I would like to make that motion.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Miller,
I'm only voting no because if we get a huge rain like we used to get and those would ever get flooded, they're gonna come bouncing us for selling.
Yep.
Beverly,
Nope.
Bassett,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Egley,
No, but do they have to be the same? I mean, I would vote yes on one of the properties and no on the other, if you separated them.
On this one here,
This is
you have to
the
say
same
for both.
For both,
No.
I mean, we can bring them up individually.
for.
Well, yeah, that
Oak
would
Park
work.
and, Oak Park and.
for-
He
and
said,
we're
he said it
driving.
before with both of them.
Oh,
I was.
well, that's not how I voted.
Well.
Well, nobody said it was both.
Okay,
He
Rob,
said
Rob,
it
do one of them,
You
do one of
can't
them.
give a
Rob.
yes for both of them, do you?
We gotta finish this vote.
Okay,
No, we don't.
Don't look at
let's
me.
back up.
I said,
I vote yes for Oak Park, no for Antwerp
that's
Drive.
not what the motion was.
Motion was for
We
both.
guess, yeah, the motion was for both.
Right.
Well, then I'll have to vote no for both, and I don't want to. Let's change the
Welcome to
motion.
America.
We gotta finish this vote.
yeah, finish the vote. All right.
Okay, I
Your
guess I'm a
last.
no for
Yes.
both.
So now it goes to the mayor.
I'm gonna-
Abstain.
You can't abstain. You're the tiebreaker.
3-3,
Huh? It's 3-3.
3 yes, 3 no.
3 yes and 3 no. I am voting, and the reason why I'm voting yes for it to move forward.
Ah,
Finally.
Here we go. Okay. You go up there. The water's not coming off that 3 acres, it's coming off the field, and if they
it
do
comes
the
down to
property.
the 3 acres.
What's that?
It comes down to the 3 acres. It floods the 3 acres. And a really good duck grounder will bring it out to the street like it always has.
We won't have. to mow
There
it.
is, I mean, there's still flooding on that street.
Oh, yes.
If you look,
I was just on their property, I was just
I'm
out
not
there.
talking
last
about
night.
that property, I'm talking across the street, never flooded, and now in between Oak Park and Antwerp Drive, it floods.
Oak Park and
Where?
Everett.
No,
It's
that's
always
flooded
flooded.
before.
It's
No, it
flooded
did not
forever.
flood before.
Yes, it did.
He said
Yes.
I used
The
to
gays
walk,
have
I
it.
used
Oh,
to
I'm
walk
wrong.
on that
Gays
bus.
We had people approach us from Oak Park when we did our Antwerp Drive project
Anyway.
because they were having water.
Yep.
The Yays have it, let's move on.
They always blame Silent for putting that ball
Yeah.
or tennis court back there, why we had that much water.
When you get the 50-year, 100-year rain event, it's all gonna flood. I don't care if you have pipes and drainage, it's above and beyond what pipes and drainage can handle, so.
The only other thing that the committee was then talking about was LeVar Drive. Is there anything happening with that? Do we know? We're just sitting tight?
Last time I remember, it went to auction, right? Then it didn't go through. It came back to us. It sat there. We showed a couple developers. We showed it to, I did get an email from Economic Development, said there's somebody that might be interested in that. They knew about it, but he was gonna reach out and talk. But it's a point of, they're gonna put it back on auction if you decide to. It's another one of those sites that if you wanna try and see what you get out of it, you gotta do it the same way we do the other properties.
We talked to Erica there one time, and then you also, the developers are gonna kind of propose something to us, I thought, on what type of houses and size and
Well, they brought
cost.
it to, it came to committee last year, and we said, this is what we want, but we never really got anything back on it. So,
Is now the time for that kind of money being spent?
is it ever?
Oh, yeah, there's times.
Well, plus then it kind of get dropped when we were approached by the other possible housing addition.
I don't know, I think it just got dropped.
It got dropped a while back, I mean.
Well, I know, but
And it wasn't like we're looking to liquidate, I mean, it was just something that came up while we were talking.
well,
about
everybody
this
said we
for
needed
now.
housing.
Well, I know when that auction came to move forward with the auction, and they sent out all the flyers and all the auction papers to all the developers around here, and they thought they were gonna have 10, 15 people show up. We had 2, right, or 3?
3 bidders.
3 bidders.
Only 2.
You know, we can always try it again, I guess, if we wanna spend the money and see if it has any interest.
There's Gibby bought it, Z-Dyke, and there's another guy, he's Amish. That would be your only shot right now, is the Amish.
Oh, like I said, we weren't talking about
They
selling,
won't-
we were just
they
curious
won't do
as to
housing
what
back there.
happened with.
Now, I've talked to smaller builders, and they said they don't want the whole 20
That makes
acres.
sense.
If we could sell it off in chunks, they said, we'd be willing to, you could sell it off in sections and then sell it off as one piece. Sometimes they do that with property like that. They might be interested in putting up 5, 10 homes and not the entire, 40 or 50.
Well,
Right.
isn't it the infrastructure that's the issue always?
Yeah, but they'd have to make, since we're auction, it'd be part of their, they'd have to look at part of their bill. I mean, if they're, to me, it's the woods closer to town off of Clearview, right, that's got more of the, I guess,
And
Nicer to build.
the original prints on the layout has a retention pond back there.
I did, yeah.
In the motion that was filed, there was nothing said about a reserve. Do you need, Rob brought up about putting a reserve on that.
I think for Antwerp Drive, and,
Yeah.
Hayward Drive at least.
oh yeah, we gotta have a reserve on that.
Does that need to be part of your motions?
Because you can sell it, you can sell it now, or try to sell it, but when housing is booming, and it's not right now, that piece would do well. So that's exactly a full 3 acres, right?
Yeah.
And the water and sewer's there, and the gas, so that is a prime piece of real estate.
I mean, but for me, I don't know what type of reserve to put on. I think Corey can talk to whoever's got an auction, and they kind of give
Fair
an idea.
fair
of
market
that.
value
This
to
would be
that
a
property with the amenities on it. I mean, close to. Bring it back to council maybe with, before, we would know that before we pick the auctioneer to move forward with it, right?
But you'll
But I-
get an auctioneer, or an appraiser to come in, right? Yeah, okay.
Back to LeVar though, I mean, if it's something, I showed Matt Lancey that property out there, right, and he said, it's nice, but when he found out the possibility of the Caduke property being possible housing, he said that's much better setting for housing than LeVar. Not saying it's not bad, but if you had a choice between the two, he goes, I'd rather build houses over the other property, so.
Good.
And right now, we're not even farming it, right? Is it, or we have, is Troyer's farming that portion right there, that 20 acres? Is that being,
But he's keeping it mowed for us, just
Right.
for the,
Keeping it
yeah,
knocked down.
yeah. You also, on the walkthrough, maybe we're not there yet, but the walkthrough completed, you got on May 28th. Did you have a good time?
Yeah. Very good time.
When did you walk through it?
We walked through that a couple weeks ago.
Was that April 28th?
Yeah, probably.
That's what that Monday was.
It was my birthday, and I didn't even get a cake or nothing.
Happy belated birthday. Let the record show.
We moved on away.
Are we moving off the LeVar and going into administrator's report?
They did start, they got all the milling done today on West Arthur Street, the 200 block of West Arthur, and all the Chicago Avenues all milled, depending on weather. They'd like to start paving tomorrow, but it might not be till later in the week. Did have a curb installed on the 200 block of West Arthur Street across from Cornerstone Church on the inside radius to try to preserve that street. Got a couple estimates to reline approximately 800 feet of 15-inch sanitary line under Oak Street. Visu Sewer came in at 76,000, and PPI came in at 70,000. I know a lot of people are complaining about the condition of Oak Street, but I'm very reluctant to pave that until we get the sewer lined. I would hate to get in there to start lining it, and we're gonna have to do some, if we have to do some point replacements and cut up a brand new street.
Who did whatever they did to that street? I mean, it looks like they chip sealed it in reverse.
It was the county.
The county did that?
Yeah, they came in and chip sealed it, and they were supposed to fog seal it. They didn't fog seal it in time, and it all kind of just came off.
Can we sue them?
Yeah, that's one of our permissive tax routes, so. But I'd like to get PPI in here sooner than later to get that 15-inch line and try to get Oak Street knocked out of the way. Like I said, we've got a little over $100,000, maybe it's $124,000 in permissive tax money that will pay for that to be paved. The sewer line would come out of the capital outlay of the sewer, so that 70,000 would come from. That's important that we get that done before we get that paved, and then JDY and American Dirt Works are starting to get material around for the Defiance Avenue project as well. I had budgeted 30,000 for equipment for the parks, for a couple new mowers. They did receive a new mower. We did some trading with a company over in Leo. We did pick up one new 72-inch. We had about $3,000 invested after the trade. I got a price on another new one. We get a 24% discount, so it's an even $12,000 for a new mower. So we'd have two 72-inchers down there.
Okay.
They're it's like a Pro Series 900, they're Cub Cadets. Like they have a 32 horse Kawasaki on them. I know the 72 that they have now, most circles around both of those 60-inchers down there. We do save probably 35 to 40% of the time with one of those. So I'd like to go ahead and proceed with getting that new replacement mower. The older Toro that we have down there, they're not interested in it, so we're just gonna throw it on Gov Deals. So we'll still have the 272, those 272s, we'll still have a 60-inch down there. We'll still have 3 mowers. That's all I got to add. We did have the senior work day. They got quite a bit of stuff done around town and in the Parks Department. Down on Ocean Street, you're going to see 2 big areas where we had to excavate the road. One of those was from Dirt Dog when they were boring the water service line for that new house. They went through the top half of that sewer main down there, so we had to dig that up and repair it. I let them know that they're on the hook for that bill and that paving repair there. And the other one is for a leak that had happened, so we're on the hook for that one. Splash pad is to open May 15th, it's a planned opening. There's just a few punch list items that are remaining and should be good to go.
While you're on the park, I don't know about the rest of you, but I've heard some good things about the new girl that works at the park. I've heard good things about her. And she does a good job, and she's not just, she's good.
Okay, she's done well.
Yep.
Any questions for Corey?
Courtney, that 70,000, was that budgeted, or there's just money that's sitting there that will cover it?
It was all part of the sewers capital outlay.
Okay, so it'll be covered.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, everything with those projects at the same engine look really good. They did a nice job. The park's looking really good.
Do you want to get a hold of members of the foundation for that grand opening in case they want to be there?
I'd love to.
day or time?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Will there be certain parameters about like when the water's running? Is it a time from 7A, 7B, what are we looking?
I don't know what time we'll start in the morning. It probably will be something like a 7A to 11P since the park closes at 11. The lighting, I think we're gonna leave the lighting on till a later time. It's set up for photo eye or a timer. I like to leave it on till at least midnight. So if the PD goes through there and it's 11:30 and there's still kids messing around, they can pay them a visit, but yeah.
What time is it set to now?
Hmm?
What time is it set to now?
The lighting?
Yeah.
It's just on photo eye, so.
But they run all night long,
Yeah.
when anytime it started.
Okay.
But it's just as simple as walking in the mechanic room and flipping a switch to over to the timer.
Good. Thank you, Corey. Solicitor's report.
We have second reading of ordinance 2025-05 by caption only, establishing fees for public records requests involving video recordings. We have first reading of ordinance 2025-07 by caption only, amending pay ranges to include canine handling. And first reading of ordinance 2025-08 by caption only, amending section 1165.09 of the Hicksville codified ordinances pertaining to parking and storage of certain vehicles. First reading of ordinance 2025-09 by caption only, amending section 905.06 of the Hicksville codified ordinances pertaining to failure to comply remedy of a municipality. And then we have first reading of ordinance 2025-10 by caption only, amending section 505.13 of the Hicksville codified ordinances pertaining to keeping animals near dwellings.
Any questions for Rachel?
I have a question for Cheryl. For that canine handler fee, is that paid out a certain time of the year? How does that work?
This was our first year, of course, and it wasn't even a full year, so we did it in.
It's the end of the year, he'll get it.
So in December?
Yeah, whatever, probably the last week of the budget or whatever we get it.
Yes, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we established, because it didn't have a date assigned to it, so I wanted to
Yeah,
make sure that was
it's
established.
at the end of the year.
Okay.
In court, I just got a question. Cause I got a great, the day last week about excessive animals. Well, what do we do with the existing people that have a lot more than what's in the new ordinance? I didn't know what to tell a guy.
I have not been part of this.
Like, you can't go back and,
I don't know, Jared and I kind of had that conversation, we talked about these ordinances. I don't know, I guess it could be up to council what you guys want to do. Do you grandfather in the current individuals, or?
In committee, didn't we talk about going forward, then they would have to get a permit?
Yeah, and that's on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, point B.
Okay. So there it is.
so if they're out of compliance with the new part, they don't get a permit? But
Yeah, I guess they're
without seeing
grandfathered
it,
in,
let's
but
say you
they-
can't have 5 cows, just for sake of argument.
Right now you can't, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I'm saying, say I got 5 cows now and the new ordinance says you can't have 6.
All right.
So if I come up and get a permit, I'm still okay with my 6 cows, but if I don't get a permit, what happens to me?
I don't think,
We'll tell you not to
I don't
do that
think
no
you would
more.
pass, according to this, you wouldn't pass the inspection. You pay your fee, and then, you know. you're
Okay,
subject
so
to
if they don't get the
inspection.
new permit, then you tell me to get rid of my 6 cows.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
probably.
just,
But if you're.
I'm not
if you're-
opposed to this, but I just had a guy ask me,
If you're grandfathered in,
well,
can
that's the
you,
next thing.
right, can you keep getting more and more animals?
No.
No.
I would.
Whatever you have, but then do you have to state what you have?
Honestly, I don't know for sure. I'd have to talk to Jared a little further. He's the one that brought this to me. I don't know what you guys discussed in or what was discussed, but,
I think we just had Jared write up what he wanted.
Yeah.
Or what he was looking for. We didn't get into any details that I remember.
specifics, yeah, we didn't.
The only thing I would say is, in here it just says chickens, but I know that like ducks and geese were allowed to be part of that number. So I would just say like poultry or, you know, just a generic I guess exclude maybe
Said geese make a lot of noise.
emus or.
Well, is that 6 is like 1 chicken, 1 duck, it's not 6 chickens, 6
Right.
ducks.
Yeah.
And that's not
More
by.
than 6 animals in total, excluding cats and dogs.
Right. And we could make that argument too, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that have multiple cats. I don't know, there's probably some people that have multiple dogs, but
Yeah,
as long as they're all licensed and rabies vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's an RC for the rabies, so.
Well, I only brought it up because I said a guy did ask me, and I'm sure when this passes, he's gonna ask again, are you gonna take care of this mess? Street X, I'll just say that, just so I know what to tell him, or he can come ask you guys or whatever.
There's some pretty important things to get worked out.
Yeah, we
Right,
kinda need to
that-
make sure this is nipped pretty tightly, otherwise it's gonna be a nightmare.
I think we talked, it's been a couple weeks since I spoke with Jared, but we thought about maybe giving people like a certain date, like 6 months from now or something, to get in compliance with this ordinance before doing the yearly permit.
First of the year type thing, or?
Right.
how would
yeah.
that work then? Would they receive letters in the mail or saying that this is your?
I don't know what his
6 month notice?
intention is, if he was gonna send out letters or what, I don't know.
What
Do
would
we know
be
if
your
he'll
guidance?
You just send everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to talk to him further about that.
Would he be coming in and discussing this with us, like what his idea is? Because this is pretty open for interpretation as compared to what you're saying was discussed.
Yeah, I mean, this was our ordinance and I just added in the bolded, this was our previous ordinance that we had, so I just added in the bolded language. But, yeah, if we can get Jared to come in, that'd probably help clear up.
Do you remember, I know that when you guys first submitted your notes, you referenced a certain ordinance. Do you remember which ordinance this was? I can go back and look. You had like different city ordinances that you had referenced.
Oh, those are ones here.
Yeah, I'd have to find.
I don't
it.
know.
Okay, I can go back and look. I didn't know if you knew. No big deal. I'll go back and look.
Well, it was from a different town.
Different, yeah,
Oh.
different town, you know,
Yes,
this
yeah.
was from Archibald or Strike, this is from.
This was Archibald.
Yeah, I feel like we looked at Archibald, we looked at
Striker, maybe was the one.
Jeff Butler.
Well, you have Jared come in the next council meeting or get with the ordinance committee and get more specifics on how he's gonna handle all this before it's.
Yeah, hopefully they can hammer something out prior to the next meeting.
Correct.
Gonna be a loss no matter which direction you go.
We need to impact it, so. I just want to address that a little closer and get that taken care of, thank you. Any other questions? All right, moving ahead to department heads. Chief Denny, you have anything, chief?
The only thing I have is the total numbers. I didn't get to send out the monthly.
I sent them to you, Tony,
Thank you.
the numbers.
So for the month of April, we had 178 cases and 415 calls for service. So that's where we're at with that. So,
You got any applicants?
nope.
Is that normal in your line of work?
Well, it has been for the last couple of years, but the last 2 times we've gotten 0. The time before that, I think we had 2.
You still losing 2?
Could be 3.
Ooh. You're gonna have to hire me.
So,
They hired you, Bob, so they can hire me.
the second one is possibly to end by the end of the year, if not sooner. So,
And you checked, I know you do advertising in different cross places, Academy, I think we talked about that. too.
yeah, we went and talked to the academy last Monday night. So
What do you-
They showed some interest, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
What do you attribute to the turnover?
Pay, benefits,
Yeah?
Just like I told the mayor, I just got a case study done that was done by Delta Police Department, a guy that has some type of master's or something, and we're like, I showed it to Fisher, I don't know if I have it on my phone, but I'm gonna send it out to everybody, I didn't get it. But he did a comparison to all departments that, and villages or city, or mostly villages and towns that are about our size. And we're about, chiefs, I think, was like 13 to 16% underpaid. The road units were probably 10, I think it was 10 to 12% underpaid. Until you change the wages and until you change the benefits. I sat here and asked at the last council meeting about an insurance committee being put together. I've heard nothing from any of you about getting that done to research. The last guy left because of the wages and because of the insurance. Until we change it, it's going to be the same. It's going to be a revolving door.
I mean, in the market like it is out there, and you have, you know, the sheriff's department, other county agencies, and other villages and cities, I mean, are you talking, and I don't look at numbers like that, especially around here with families and things, but looking at 10-20% increase on pay wages, or, you know, then the benefits is a whole other animal with how healthcare is handled today and different.
Problem is, Mayor, we're doing nothing. We are sitting on our butts doing nothing to research and look for other avenues.
Sure. I know, and we've talked about this before, the Borma program, and I know there's Borma and Buckeye and other agencies out there. They do the research for us. We pay them to go and they cross.
We don't need them to do our research, Mayor. We can do our own research and reach out to these. Corey had a thing set up almost 2 years ago, and he sent it out to the employees here, the whole village. And because village employees didn't want to provide personal information, we couldn't get it done.
Fire up that way. And that was through a group plan. I can't remember what you sent out.
They had, I believe they had the village of Paulding, is that not? Isn't that where I got that info from? Is when Brandon left, yes.
Paulding has their own, are they with a group like Buckeye or anything, or no, they do their own? I mean, it's something we could definitely look into. I mean, we're in a new insurance program, and we can have a committee formed and look at those, you know, different levels of insurance. I know Cheryl works on that every year with different levels of, with Borma.
Let's do it.
Well, we've always, not just my time on council, but living here, Hicksville's always been a stepping stone.
We gotta quit being a stepping stone. That's
yeah.
the problem.
Yeah, but you can't,
'Cause now-
you can't break the city by doing something different.
Well, you gotta do something different because now departments are stealing from other departments. All right? We can't be a revolving door. We have to take and try to put a stop to this. The last 3 guys that I've probably hired have come straight out of the academy. The 5 that we have left, 6 of us that are left right now, 7 of us that are left right now, probably 6 out of those, or 5 out of those are gonna stay here because they don't wanna go anywhere else. All right? So, but it's just gonna be a revolving door, and end up paying more for the training of getting them to where they need to be than if we would just raise the wages to keep people and change our benefits.
But when you say raise wages, whatever you get, whatever your department gets, we pretty much have to give everybody. So it can get to be a really big snowball by the time it's done rolling.
Well, he's not getting anybody that's applying for jobs.
Well, I mean, we did raise the wages 8% last year.
Yeah, and then you sock it to us on the insurance.
It wasn't 8%. We actually did the
No, not even
math.
close to 8%.
It was closer to like 2%. So you still ended up with a 6% raise.
Every time you give us a raise, it jumps it, you get socked with the insurance.
Insurance change.
And that's most employees, that's not just you guys.
Yeah, but we're not keeping up with the cost of inflation.
I don't even have insurance. Some employers just don't offer it,
Mhm.
so I don't really have a lot of sympathy.
Well, I don't think it hurts to go, and I know Cheryl works really hard and with Mormon, there's different things, but I don't think it hurts to check with other agencies and see if there's a plan. You know, I know it puts a lot more on your plate, because you've got the numbers, you've got the statistics. Your plate's full, I know that.
I'd be willing to be on an insurance committee if one existed. to do
We have an
something.
insurance committee.
You haven't met in 22 years according to Kent.
What do we do with it?
Well, don't look at me.
Is it on? I didn't abolish it. Nope.
No.
I can tell you in the 6 years I've been here, I've asked almost from day one about insurance committee.
Yeah, we never have.
It ain't happened yet.
When you were here, we had an insurance committee, didn't we? No?
No.
I have one of them.
I've been here too long.
You've been here the longest, you should know.
I know we did, because.
Yeah, and they never ever met, so whichever
That's
mayor.
exactly what I was told, they never
Yeah,
met.
they
We,
never met.
yeah, we went from, we had insurance in Bryan, and then the state come up with a group, and we went to that group, and there were 2 or 3 moves that we made in my time here.
Yeah, we've been Borma ever since I was administrator. That
Yeah.
got it. Well,
That might be.
now it goes back 25 years. Starting in 2001, we were with Borma. It had changed.
We had, well, I think we still got them for something.
Yeah, our medical insurance, we're still Borma pool.
But are we,
What was it?
who do we have in Brian Groff, or whatever their name is? Andrews O'Neill?
That's.
We had them for something.
Ohio
No.
plan.
We had the Ohio plan.
Which is your
That's
That's been our
liability.
insurance forever.
Yeah.
Well,
Our liability,
forever.
right?
So I
Ohio
don't,
plan's liability. I know the Ohio, it's not Ohio plan. OML, right? I know they started a new, like, healthcare subsidiary. Right. Just like Buckeye and Borma, they've kind of joined some efforts with trying to lower the cost. But it's just like Buckeye, certain towns pick up these different programs, Buckeye and Borma and different things, and.
We looked at the school at Northern Buckeye one time, but they weren't taking any new customers.
I looked at that when I first came here.
Yeah.
They said they were taking on new clients. They weren't taking on new clients at that time.
Right.
But I think Corey's had conversation with them since then.
Like I said, I know Cheryl's got a lot on her plate. I mean, if we want to form a committee, and I can form a committee with 3 council people and look into some of the government.
Well, I volunteer, to be honest.
So I think the department head should be part of it.
Committee that keeps department heads informed, not the heads coming and voicing their opinion every single time we have a get-together.
Why is that?
Well, let them put the plan together, let them find their information, put a plan together, and then present it to you. Say, what do you think of this?
No, I think the department heads need to be part of the research.
Then you don't need an ordinance committee. Let your people get together.
So, well, we want everybody, we want the council to be involved in this.
Well, anybody else on
It's a
council?
CYA, because that way you're not presenting stuff to us, then we don't come back and say, well, we don't believe you, all right? And it's the same way if we would get together as department heads, and then we present it to you guys, we want you guys to believe us, and you may not believe us. So that's why I say it has to be a joint effort.
I agree with the joint effort, but I also agree that the more people you throw into it, the longer it's gonna take you to work something out.
And schedule a meeting.
Yeah, and schedule meetings and.
Get 3 or 4 people on the committee.
Exactly.
But if they communicate through, if they all can't be there, but they present the facts. I mean, basically, when you go look for insurance companies, you're gonna look at what they're presenting, the package, the benefits, the rates, and everything else. They're gonna be pretty, I guess, black and white.
We also want to have, like a speaker for the committee that's reaching out or know, you know,
Right.
Rob's gonna be talking to this one, Charlie's gonna be talking to this one. It's not every single person gonna be calling the same insurance company over and over again.
Exactly.
It looks
No,
stupid.
But Cheryl, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say 3 companies are interested. All 3 of them are gonna be calling you wanting tons of information.
Absolutely, that's what it's gonna be more.
Because they're gonna wanna know all your medical histories and blah, 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 blah.
Claims.
So it's gonna all go right back to Cheryl.
What they want, Corey, when you called them, they just wanted our personal information, right? They didn't want any of that stuff.
Well, social security numbers, and then
Yeah.
there was a link they want everybody to click onto and
And
fill out
fill
their
out
medical
the-
history.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, your entire, all the employees that have benefits.
Yeah, that takes
Yeah.
insurance. Yep.
So you're gonna have
And there again,
everybody.
if the
they
employees don't wanna
them,
do
then
that,
they're
what
not
are we
gonna have-
supposed
They're
to
not
do?
gonna file, you're not gonna be able to get your rate.
We can save you track.
Sounds like we tried you
Want
for
better
it. If
insurance, get the
employees didn't
information.
Cooperate.
Exactly.
I don't know, I guess no, Cheryl's gonna have a bunch of information to dig up. It's
Well, I
not
think employees will
clear cut.
cooperate if they know the council is seriously looking at this. I think they will. At that time, Corey was just reaching out, we were just trying to figure out, you know.
You think
because
all
Brandon
of our
left here.
employees will do it, or just your group?
What's that?
You think all of the employees will do it, or just your group?
I think if every employee of the village knew that you guys were supporting this idea, all right, to look at, see how we can improve with that, I think they would support it.
Because they didn't last time.
But it wasn't through the council either, and then the council wasn't backing. We reached out because Brandon was leaving us and going to Paulding with not having to pay anything in insurance. That's why he left.
I'm certainly not opposed to taking a look and see what we can get done. Get that revolving door down to just one that swings once in a while.
So,
If they leave because they have to pay a percentage, that's a different thing than they're leaving because someone else is going to pay it 100%.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I believe they're gonna pay mine 100%, who wouldn't? But we
I
can't
think
afford
they're just gonna give me some.
Our different communities have different packages, different plans, different rates
Correct.
and that kind of thing. So I think we've done better, but I know this last round, listening to the sheriff, I'm not saying insurance can be better, but it seemed like all the insurance companies were hitting an increase across the board, medical, liability, everybody, because of everything going on, and you were trying to find the least amount of increase and then rolling along with that package.
but now we have co-pays on ER visits. We didn't have co-pays with that,
Right.
with that kind of stuff. Now we have co-pays for everything.
Yeah.
Even though it was expensive, it's still, we didn't have the co-pays that we do now.
I know it.
And we didn't have the argument between on drug prescriptions like we do now.
Right.
You know, now they're sending me letters saying that I have to go to, I have to do my thyroid medicine through the mail. All right, or CVS and Bryan. So what's that do? It puts our local pharmacist, who takes very good care of this community, all right, and you wonder why these local pharmacists might be hurting in their business because of these big insurance companies can control everything.
Right. And I don't know here locally if John's in a certain, and we want to support all of them, don't get me wrong. But if he's in a certain plan or a prep package with some of these, they all negotiate. Your hospitals negotiate, your doctors negotiate different things. You know, then you got the different packages they negotiate with. It's a little bit to look into, but I'm open if you want to form a committee and look into that. But like I said, Cheryl, if she can gather the amount, huh?
I don't think that's saying their name.
Oh, I meant Cheryl. Shirley? But, you know, we're in the program this year, we're only in May, so, you know, we have some time to look into some different packages
That's why
and
I
stuff.
said we should
Right.
start. Because we're
Charlie
supposed to
said,
have our budgets in by September
Corey's
1st.
interested in something like that. I don't want to put, Cheryl does have a lot on her plate, but if she can help to a slight degree, she's giving me a look here, but. Anybody else want to be on that committee?
Sure.
Okay. Chief, Charlie, anybody else from council? Not you, Mr. Metz. New York Mets. Can't, no, yes, no? I'll find out, I'll find one more person, so.
How about Bruce Silcott, because he's worked in HR before with insurance?
Yeah, he's working that level, yeah. Do you hear?
Oh, my back hurts from that.
See, he declined.
Yeah, all the way up.
Yeah.
That's
I
true,
mean,
that you'd have an idea about the medical side and stuff, so, you know, okay.
I'm not the guy you want.
I'm not either.
I'm not just saying that because I made a video saying, I don't have insurance, I don't know.
But to me, you
why
got
about
Corey and Charlie, and then you've got Chief and Chief, and I think that'd be a good group to kind of look at some just different options out there. Thank you.
Okay. How many employees do we have that are full-time that would, or how many insurance? Usually 22? We only have 22?
That take insurance.
That take insurance?
They all take it, except for one.
So we only have 22
Full-time.
That's total.
City Hall, police, and Corey, that's about it.
Corey.
You're not talking thousands of people.
Might look it all confused.
Okay.
Looking all confused.
99.9% all take it, think about the marketplace.
Exactly. Well, it may be full-time, but taking the insurance.
Okay, I don't
Maybe
recommend
they
that
stop
either.
it. So they don't have to.
Do it again? What?
Over medicine, then we get right through the school. we have to-
So 22 that take the
Online.
village
Yeah.
insurance. So there might be more than 22 employees, but they may be on their spouse's stuff.
So, we got our 4 people for the insurance committee. Take a look at that, gives them some time to get some numbers around. I just ask that you don't put a lot, if you need a little information from Cheryl, but not bombard her with kind of details and stuff, so. Jonathan, come to me. Moving along. Ready to go? Just roll along, it's 7 o'clock. So, okay, thank you, Chief. We got an insurance committee for him, so.
All right. Thanks, smile.
Chief Fisher, got anything for us tonight?
Well, yeah,
Sit down.
I think Mark outdone, this guy talking today.
Mr. Silcott.
You got Derek to go first?
Oh, Derek, I don't care either one of you.
I didn't know it was an order, but hey.
There's the order of,
Fire of engine
Like always, I say I don't have a whole lot to share. Some of this is privy to y'all maybe. Some is not, more for the community who watches this show. This council meeting. I just want to put out there the extrication tools that we got from the grant we received. We put those tools to work last week down at Yoder's Body Shop. They let us chop up a few cars, so thank you to Yoder's Body Shop for allowing us to use their scrap and that sort of thing. The 3 pieces, we have a Ram, which I think is going to be great. We've never had one, at least for a long time within the department. So even though we don't get that many MVAs or entrapments around here, I think with all the new guys who have went through and got trained, it's going to be pivotal as far as moving forward. Everybody's trained and knows how to use the new extrication tools. The Ram is going to be big as far as being able to lift dashboards up off entrapped patients. So that's going to be great as far as that goes. We just also had a training. We had a big trailer back here. State Fire Marshal's office came in and did a fire attack training. Allowed, again, a lot of newer guys and seasoned guys over the weekend, 2-day weekend, to get exposure to how hot it could get, different scenarios, simulations. Overall, that went really well. It had 6 instructors from the state come in from the Fire Marshal's office. Again, it was great because we got the experience and the training, and it was all free. So they're going to come again next month in June for a different type of fire training. So we're looking forward to that. We have quite a few guys signed up for that based on their home life and schedules. I guess as far as we do have our banquet, the last banquet was in 23 before Kramer left. So we're going to be doing one this year, and that's more involved in
Fireman of the Year, EMS, that sort of thing. Retirees are welcome, families welcome. So that's gonna be on August 2nd. That we're gonna be doing this banquet, handing out awards to the reserve members of the department. Fire department also does a yearly scholarship thing for the high school graduating class. So that's gonna be, I guess, in 2 days. So as far as representation, I'm gonna represent those few scholarships to the awarding recipients of that. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot more besides, we do have that breakfast that is also coming up, that's gonna be on the 7th, in celebration of the 150th. That's gonna be on June 7th from 8 to 10. So that is coming up. And then outside of that, everything I believe is running smoothly. We're trying to keep the maintenance up on the trucks. So far, that's going okay. And here soon, we're going to be having an influx of equipment that I also received from the equipment grant. So like hoses, nozzles, things that we need within the department. So once those things come on the truck, I think we as a unit is going to be fully prepared to continue to provide for the community if anything happens. It's just an idea, and maybe I can go to PFP later, but due to the influx of EMTs or cross-trained people that we have now, I'm highly consider wanting to be able to utilize our primary engine, also implement it into a rescue engine. As in, like, if both squads are out, hypothetically, with all the EMTs we got, I could equip the engine with the first in bag and stuff to be able to respond until another squad comes. But that's just a long-term goal, but I'm just bringing it up because it's been heavy on my mind, something that I want to do, because I think it's helpful. And I'm not mixing small with big, but in the cities, engines respond quite a bit for medical calls if EMS is out of the district or out of the area. So it'd be, to me, advantageous and useful for the new EMTs to get your feet wet, continue to get your feet wet, get your skills together, and be able to be firemen also as well as EMTs and respond to scenes until EMS gets there. And then lastly, I just purchased a new skid unit for the grass truck. The Owen took a plop. So that is now on, it's installed. The guys within the station did a great job installing that. So our grass truck is now back operating and ready for all these grass fires that these wonderful people are setting. So other than that, I don't have anything else to say or provide.
What are you gonna do with the, excuse me, go ahead.
They all got their new uniforms, their new turnout gear.
The new turnout gears came. It was 15 sets of turnout gear. Everybody loves them. They fit great. I did have one small little mishap, but I'm working with the rep. It's going to be free to repair it because it's under warranty. So everybody looks good from a perspective. You know what I'm saying? We all look as one unit. I have a motto over there, one band, one sound. So we all look good together. So a lot of these young guys, they really want to take photos in their gear because they think it looks so good. But other than that, those gears is in, and everybody seems to like it. It's custom fit. Everybody's comfortable, and they're ready to roll if anything happens.
That grass unit that's sitting out back, are you gonna sell that on .gov, or what are you gonna do with it?
That old skid. I haven't decided. As far as I'm concerned, a magnet could come and dump it in a trash can or something. But I know that probably ain't the right way to do things. But but that's the old skid that took a crack, basically. It was more than 20 years old.
Pretty much the tank that's bad, isn't it?
Huh?
The tank is what's bad, isn't it?
It was a rear well, it was the tank, it was the engine itself that seized up and locked up. But it was previously on on 17 on the pickup truck a long time ago, then it got moved to the grass unit, and it's just old and its time was due. And just so happened we got to a scene and it stopped working on us at the time that we needed it. So we ended up investing into a brand new unit. It came, it got installed. And
So Corey ought to sell it instead of letting it sit out back.
yes, but we put it out back because that was a place where. it
No,
could
yeah,
go.
sure, but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I'm saying this because it's in our parking lot, but I talked to Corey recently. The tornado siren, we've been having issues with it. I made contact with Corey a couple weeks ago and to test it and see if it works. P&R came out, allegedly ordered a part to do whatever case may be, but we just had one just a couple days ago and it's not working again. So I did make contact with Corey. Corey said he would address it. So me and Corey's been in communication with that, so it's not necessarily a thing. I'm just letting you know that tornado siren in our parking lot, as of right now, is not working, even though they came out to look at it or prepare it or fix it. So.
Questions? Gary? Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Bruce.
I gotta be home before dark.
You ain't gonna turn that into a pumpkin. Last month, we had 56 total calls. Out of that, we had 44 medical, 12 fire, 7 mutual aid. We transported 31 people, 31 times. No transports was 25. We had 37 calls in the village. For the year, the total calls are now 260. After the past few days, we're probably about 275, somewhere in there. Total calls again, 260, medical calls 210, fires are 50, 15 mutual aid. We've had 151 transports, 109 no transports, and we've had 175 calls here in the village. All other have been either in Hicksville Township, with majority in Hicksville Township, and then Mark, Farmer, and Milford. Last month we had 2 runs in Sherwood, one each in Edgerton and Antwerp, and those numbers are not included in the township numbers or anything like that. Other than that, that's it.
One quick question for fire EMS. I had seen somebody from Edgerton the other day and they said, wondered why Edgerton never got called for mutual aid. I said, I didn't realize.
Meaning
that.
what?
I
don't know.
I don't know.
The answer to answer that is, me and Chief Blue have been in contact, but we've got a lot of calls right there on their boundary. So whatever tower it hits off of, cell tower, whether it's Defiance or Williams County, there's an intersection. So there's sometimes that, even just recently, they had a fire out there, and while we were en route, Edgerton showed up and they canceled us, rightfully so, their district, their territory. So those kind of things happen. It's not nothing purposely that we don't call Edgerton, because I told Chief Blue that if we needed them, or vice versa, they needed us, don't hesitate to call us. But within our automatic mutual aid from Farmer and Sherwood, however the case would be, a lot of times that's enough manpower. Now, if we do need more manpower, guess what? Edgerton is next on our list, depending on how it is, if it's way out on 2 or 249, that sort of thing, or going more towards Milford Township. We do call them. In a few of the last, I don't know, 20 runs that I put in, Edgerton has been, I've put in information for Edgerton at least 5 or 6 times. But it's not something that we intentionally don't call Edgerton for mutual aid. So I don't know the conversation, but again.
The conversation was every business in downtown Hicksville could be on fire, and I know we would not get called.
Well, that's just an opinion.
Exactly what they told me.
That's an opinion, because that's not true.
They said when somebody caught fire, you thought that we got called, we never got called, we never get called for anything from mutual aid from Hicksville. I go, can you find that out? And I said, next meeting, I'll ask. That's what I'm doing.
Absolutely, okay, that's fair.
Yes, sir.
We have a lot of no transports. in which our the billing company that we have hired doesn't do anything with them, can't your department, you or your people?
So Cheryl and I have been working together on that. So, you know, we've been working on that since the beginning of the year.
But it seems like it wouldn't take that long to come to a completion. And
So the problem is one of the people that we just sent, I think a $660 bill to, okay, his wife just passed away. They are Medicaid, Medicare. That's who we're sending these bills off to. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody that's on Medicaid, Medicare, but they are probably the people that are not gonna pay you anything.
that'd be worth a stamp, though.
I mean, at least we send it out.
Yeah.
And I knew that they had been sent out because within 2 days of them getting sent out, I had visits, I had calls, I had, people don't realize, and maybe Bill and I need to have a sit down where I discuss how the billing is done for across Medicaid, Medicare, and private insurance. So that way the general public knows, hey, if I fall and I don't go to the hospital, I'm going to get a bill for $110. As much as we've tried to put it out there, I think there's still a lot of people out there that are like, I have Medicaid. You can send it off to them.
I realize that. I'm just saying.
No, yeah. I'm not disagreeing. It's just that.
Okay.
It's just that when you got
Something to look at.
Yeah.
How's your new staff rolling? I know you're picking up a lot more hours, right? With coverage and stuff. Thank you.
So yeah, we're rolling along. We've got we might have. Besides Addie, we might have one other person leaving us. We've had one part-timer that really hasn't done anything in the past month and a half, and I haven't really had a chance to talk with him. He just said he's been really busy, so. I will say that the mayor and I had a conversation, and he was asking, well, what's the amount of people that you need? And, I think I could, quite honestly, and Cheryl and I have talked about this, I think quite honestly, we could go up to 22. And finally be at that point where all overtime, that's my goal.
What's the current number?
Right now, we're at 15.
A lot of overtime, right?
Unfortunately, because, well, we've got one EMT that has had to take some time off because of family health issues, and, we've got people that normally would pick up that aren't picking up now because they've got something else going on, and that might be our part-timers. So yeah, we've had some unfortunate overtime, but my goal is to hire enough people where overtime's a thing of the past.
Lots of luck.
Yeah, I know it, but we all gotta have goals in life.
Any other questions for Bruce?
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. Park. Cheryl?
Before I do mine, I have a question about the agenda where we have the park director. Do you still want that to be separate, or, because Corey's been putting it in his administrative report?
It would be nice to talk to her.
Nobody cares?
I would say it would be nice to talk to her and see what she's got going on.
have a rapport with her.
I think Corey normally does a pretty good job putting out what's going on in the park. And thanks, Mr. Bassett.
So you'd rather look at him than, never mind.
Yeah, I mean,
I think maybe a couple times a year to have, you know, Joel and, right, just maybe an update with what your goals and plans are.
To me, like the beginning of the year for the park, like before the season starts, like what she's looking for, or he or she would be looking for employment assistance, then towards the end of the year, like.
I would like around finance time. I'd
Yeah.
kinda like to hear what her goals are for the park, but yeah, I don't know if she needs to be here.
There's probably a lot of people that don't even know who she is.
She can. You may be gone.
She came to one.
You were here. Well, yeah, I hardly ever come.
Haven't been
Just
invited.
saying, you were here.
Okay. And fund status, and the cash summary looks really good this time. You have the April income tax and utility collections, mayor's court report, the MediaCom first quarter franchise fees, and you finally have a draft of a contract that I did talk with Tom Turnbull from the funeral home. And this is the number that we talked about for the contract. So, up to you all to decide if you agree with it.
You said you were comfortable with this number?
Yeah, and you saw what we used to do, and you see how much they actually charge people. And I know that his number's real because I just paid that. So, it's kind of like halfway.
Do you want to vote on that tonight?
If you will, then we sign it and move on.
And you said that we, as long as there's funds available, we can get how much reimbursed through the state?
It's a percentage, it depends on how much money is first come, first served.
There was, that reminds me, there was something in there that I thought wouldn't be good, because it kind of indicated that, if somebody died in your family and you just drug them over here, we'd pay it.
No,
That's what it says.
no, because that actually did happen, and I didn't pay it, I sent it to the township.
It says, when the body is found in the village and the deceased person is indigent, or when the body is claimed by an indigent person, the village is required by the section to cremate them. So that means people can drag somebody in here.
You gotta show proof of indigency though. You gotta prove that you're indigent.
That's easy. But it should be they'd have to be a village resident. That's what we argued with that guy from Mount Hillier.
It does have to be a village resident, because remember this happened with the guy who I knew didn't live here, and so I told him no, that they had to send it to the township.
Okay,
And they did, we don't pay it.
but, when you think that verbiage is clear enough that, we won't be
On the hook.
I can change it.
walking down the street and there's somebody in a flower pot and somebody over here.
But they gotta be.
I make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second that.
I also thought that they had to be unclaimed and proven indigent before.
Correct.
Yes. They have to be unclaimed, but if they're claimed, then that kind of goes out the door.
Oh,
Yeah.
another thing is, it says, as defined by the village indigent burial policy. I did not see a policy.
The policy's been in place for,
The revised code that it references says it has to be like
Also.
legal residence.
Legal resident of them.
There we go.
So shouldn't this say that?
well,
I think it's already
references-
referenced.
references-
It says
Okay,
section
all right,
1.5.
good enough. Just want to make sure we're not
Eric was the
starting
first,
to
I'll
fight.
second.
Roll call.
Bailey.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Miller.
Nope.
Yes.
Bassett.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Thank you. All in
Ask them.
Except,
You had a good question. Is front row of Haver Drive,
Yeah,
village?
was a village resident.
no.
No. Out the front.
Okay. The front row is not covered. We had a few other oddball places.
And does everybody want me to send you a copy of this AEP?
Yeah, just send it.
Yeah, just email.
Yes, please.
It has every village that they serve
Oh, wow.
in the whole town, and then in the back it has all the pricing,
If you would, put that in.
For price increase?
what it is now.
For
and what's it
2026?
gonna be,
What's it gonna
or
be
what they
then?
want it to be. So anyway.
Have they already been through PUCO for it? Has it been approved by
No.
PUCO?
That has not been approved.
No. They want it approved this year so it can start next year.
I think increase everybody about 25%.
Any other questions for Cheryl? Thank you, Cheryl.
They keep shutting mine off, they never pay it.
I'm giving you one for your not in it.
Oh, yeah, I'm too tough.
Next time.
I can see you going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to call for an executive session. Discuss
Short,
potential.
very short.
Yeah, I've heard
I've got a cake in the oven.
Is there no mayor's report?
Oh, that cake is burnt already.
I'm making it
Been here
super
too long.
fast. Hicksville beautification plant sales is coming weekend, May 9th and 10th. It's at the Defiance County Fairgrounds multi-purpose building. I use that to help beautify a lot of places in town. The summer is fast approaching. You see a lot more people walking, kids walking to the park, walking through the streets. I ask people to pay attention while they're driving. Kids are crossing the streets at different places, crossroads, so pay heed to families, children walking around the community. Again, the 150th sesquicentennial, thank you to the committee. They're still working on that. The Cheryl's helping with that, Corey and Eric, and a lot of people coming to bring that festival to fruition. Keep an eye on Facebook at the 150th. I won't say it again because I can't say it right. But I want to wish all the mothers in the area, Hicksville, happy Mother's Day this coming weekend, and I hope you have a blessed and happy Mother's Day. So, and then, tomorrow is the primary, May 6th. There is one issue, I believe, state issue on the primary ballot. That is, I believe, the only thing in our area, but they will have voting at the Empower Church tomorrow for the Board of Elections. So if you want to vote on that issue, please head out there and vote. So
Kind of important, isn't it, as far as meeting grass and stuff for us?
We've got a $750,000 grant recently to do that.
From that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you should make that announcement, that it's really important.
It's important to vote, yes.
Thank you.
It helps out a lot for infrastructure improvements, so.
Even if you vote no?
No, then no go.
Well, we'll see.
Vote your, like Cheryl always says, vote your conscience. But read up about it first. So that's all I have. Motion for an executive session.
I'll move.
Second.
Roll call.
Beverly?
Yes.
Miller?
Yeah.
Martin?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Eglin?
Yes.
Leyland?
Yes.